Hold on, give me 1 second. I have to see. Welcome back. I'm Zoe, and this is Divinity Within Thee, where we take time to get in touch with the divine. So let me see. Let me make sure you can hear me. Why is it? Okay. Can you hear me? Why is it? Okay. It's telling me that it's scheduled for showing it later. I don't know why. That's why I have to check. So just so you guys know, when I record, that's why I don't record on this device, because when I record on this device, I can't see or hear, so I have to check on the other device. So okay, so back live and direct. Okay, I changed, right? Because you were saying before that you didn't recognize me, and that's the difference that eyebrows can make, guys. That's the difference that eyebrows can make. See these? So I didn't know what I was gonna wear because I was just getting ready and I was just doing my hair, and it was wet when I sat down, but then you guys got me going, so I didn't finish. But now I've changed, okay? I wrapped my blonde hair up before we get color in so you guys can recognize me, and I put on some purple eyebrows. First, I wanna show you my awesome outfit. Let's see. So if you guys have seen this one before, this is the cozy. Okay, so this is bamboo terry cloth. Now, before you may have seen me wear it as like overalls or more up as a dress. Okay, this is like phase 13. Okay, so there's all these different ways you can wrap it. Here it's wrapped in two, one on the back with my samurai coat, nothing at all. Okay. Also, it's got pockets. And for my dudes out there, it can be worn as like dope ass ninja pants, okay? Or as like overalls or whatever. There's so many ways. I feel like there's like 21, I felt like I found 21 different phases to wear it so far. But it's super comfy. It's bamboo terry, so it's like a really soft, bamboo baby towel or something. It's super good. But so by having a few of your right component key things, right, they can go from being something more like sexy or more fancy or more professional or more playful. And this is how I like to create. Can you guys hear me? This is how I like to create. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So that's how I like to create my things. So if you're new here, my name is Zoe, and on top of being a psychic, intuitive, medium, energy worker, healer, El Capitan, I love to make sustainable clothing. I spent many years, and if you are new here, I appreciate your presence. I appreciate everyone's likes, subscribe, shares, loves. I've put in the information box below, you can see my Gifts and Go. All the love helps, even if you can't donate to it, maybe you can share. You can see my Instagrams are down there, so you can see the different stuff that I've done, some of the different stuff that I've done. I'm not super good at technology, but I do my best. But you can see there's different ones there for spirituality and art and for sailing and different things. But yeah, today, what we do here on this channel is we tap the ancestors and the ancients, and we get information. And we were talking and having like a really good conversation, but as my devices are super old, they don't last forever. And as you guys saw before, if you were here on just the last feed, this crazy storm came in, and then it started raining, and all this stuff happened, and it stopped tuning in. And I feel like the last thing that was so important that they really wanted me to convey was just how we are honoring ourselves as women, and how as men we're also honoring women, that this is the physical, the portal, right? This is divine creation itself, and the portal. I was talking about how when this, you know, when this happens, when the sperm gets the egg, it's like this fireworks, right? And we're these light beings, right? Human. And so we're now coming into this light form, into this physical form at 555. And so that's what's happening, right? Is we're just having this series of remembrance of our light, okay? Of our light being, right? Human being, not human doing, right? We are beings of light. So that means we are to be of light. So where is the being, the beam, whatever, of light? Where is that located coming from you, right? For some people, it's more like in the crown chakra, right? For some people, it's more in the throat chakra. Like some people are really better at speaking. Some people are better at caring or nurturing. Some people are better at creativity. Some people, you know, there's different pathways, chakra points, and places where the light is coming out or emitting. But the main place where the light is coming from is what Shakti or Sophia or whatever basically said was, they put, this is what I was reading in this angel book the other day, she put within, right? She programmed within, she buried it within man, this grace to remember, to forgive, to love, to get back to this connectivity to source, right? And that's why I named my channel Divinity Within Thee, because it's where we really have to remember, where is the divinity within, right? We're not replicas, often imitated but never duplicated. So we're not, it's like a snowflake, right? Like each one is individually unique and its own and its different thing. That's basically what we are. We're source creation itself, experiencing ourselves individually, one little snowflake at a time. And if we go a little bit deeper to the water, we are talking about the water as we're blessing it and as we're drinking it. Dr. Emoto, he spent his life studying water, right? And how when we even speak things into it, so this is going back to how we speak to ourselves, how we speak about others. Like if we're really upset, if we don't like how somebody is, then first we need to look inside and say, why don't we like that person? Is there a legitimate reason? And once we figure out what that reason is, okay, that's their thing, not mine. That's their problem, not mine. It doesn't have an effect on me anymore, and move away from it, right? As we are receiving other programming, like everything, like for instance, if someone tells you every day, you're amazing, keep going, like you're great, you're good, you know, like, and I feel like there's a lot of people's parents that told them that they were good when they weren't probably being good. Let's just be real about that. Give me 1 second. But there was a strangely adverse effect on children or people, even babies, right? As you're pregnant, they're receiving all of this energy. So what's happening is if you have people that are positive and that are supportive of you, surrounding you in your life, or even if they're not directly surrounding you, but you know, then you're going to feel more supported. You're going to be more supported. And if there's these people that are constantly like, oh, well, you're always dumbass, or you're always klutzy, or you're always this, or you're always too loud, or you're like, those aren't your fucking people. Those aren't your people. Now, your people definitely are ones that are like, hey, bro, like, I saw you before, you look like you were low, extra, trashy, slashy, like, slash, I'm your homie, like, get your shit together, whatever, like, a little different, right? A little different. Like, your friends Your friends can really call you out on your shit, but if your constant whatever about your friends is constantly shit talking to each other, even if it's in a playful sense, it's still words or spells. That's why it's called spelling. It's still derogatory, right? It's still not everything, like every spell has energy. Like energy doesn't die. Energy never dies. It doesn't dissipate. It transmutes or it shifts, okay? So if you're consistently putting shit-talking energy out, even on yourself, like, you're so fucking stupid or whatever, right? If you're consistently doing that, then what's happening is your body is receiving that. And it's saying, this is what I am. So the universe works the same way. If you're just like, I'm happy, I'm healthy, I'm wealthy, I'm loved, I'm supported, like, if that's the mantra that you're speaking every day, does that mean that there's not going to be any other shitty people in the world? I don't know, but the point is you know who you are, where you are, what you're about. Look at that at 11:11. So you know, and that's, you're like, this is my wish, this is what I'm setting forward. I'm choosing how I'm viewing right now. Sometimes when we realize a lot of things have to change, we have to like remove ourselves because there's a lot of distorted imagery or views or perceptions of us. And so we say, okay, remove ourselves, right? And sometimes we have to do that. Sometimes we have to realize old friends or family members or situations or whatever that we used to do has an old version of us, an outdated version of us. And as long as those people or those places or those situations or those things keep you in that state of where you were instead of a better state of where you are, where you intend to be, then they're projecting this past version of yourself. And so you're stuck in this loop, right? Fighting to get out of your same past things instead of being like, no, I'm presently this person and I'm moving. You know, it's like when we're like, oh, I should have done this and I should have done this and I should have done this. Like, take a moment and look back, like 3 months, 6 months, 1 year, 3 years. Like, where did you say that you wanted to be? Did you do most of those things? And how hard are you choosing to be on yourself based on your own personal disgust, right? It's like when people come on here and they're being all judgmental and blah, blah, blah. It's like, listen, unless you understand like psychology or emotional intelligence or therapy, like unless you understand that, like you shouldn't be giving your unsolicited opinions unless someone is like your friend, right? Like you really just shouldn't, right? Unless you feel so fucking compelled from the depths of your soul, like this is the most truth you've ever felt that you have to deliver it to this person, then I guess do it, you know? But in the grand scheme of things, like, focus on yourself and realize that what other people do has less to do with you unless you make it your problem, right? Two things in the world: my problem, not my problem, okay? If it's not my problem, fuck this, fuck that. And if I don't, and I make someone else's problem now my problem because it wasn't my problem, now I'm fucking myself because I created it to be my problem, okay? So look for the solution, number one, instead of the problem. Because the universe is only granting you, God, source, creation, whatever, is only granting you more of what you think, what you imagine, what you show it. Now, it will, what we were talking about on the last feed before we got cut off, is like there is a lot of lower vibrational frequencies. And these are entities. These sometimes can be people that we know. These are people that are stuck in these very narcissistic time loops, that are stuck in very cruel, greedy, evil, gluttony, you know, like these frequencies are lower frequencies. Does it mean that we're not going to be able to date or make love or do all these things like in the next dimensions? Like, no, absolutely not. It's that we're not using it as an escape. We're not using it as an addiction. We're not using it in these manners. It's like the way that we're like people want the energy to change on the earth and start to worship the feminine, right? Start to see whether it's your friend or your sister or your mother or your lover or whatever, right? Figure out what you can do as a masculine energy to create more safety or protection in the reality, right? Hello, good morning. Hello. And so that's the best thing that I can really say, right? Is instead of freaking out, right? And this is what we were talking about in the last feed, is like people are like, well, this and that and this and that. Well, women are like this and that. It's like, okay, yeah, the problem is we're putting women on medication and birth control and all this stuff. And this is when the storms start and these crazy gods were making this cracking noise. Oh, it was insane. And basically what I was saying is, this is source creation divine, right? Everyone came here. They were gestated or grown. I mean, whatever. Even the bodies that the aliens or the whatever entities are snatching in was still mostly birth bodies, okay? Now, whether you're C-section or birth, it doesn't matter. You were grown in feminine creation itself. So we want to start to get more in balance with nature, Mother Nature. Start by worshiping the feminine energy, however that looks. If you don't have women in your life, go down to the beach and pray to the water or to the river or to the whatever. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, make an offering. Put some flowers, feed some animals, whatever it is. Do you understand? Like, but the reality is when all of these, it's like, why would we put the mother, right, that's processing, that's having so many different, even if they're not a mother, all these different hormonal changes, right? 4 times a month, we're going to give them something that fucks with their hormonal balance to stop their regular cycle. Like, no wonder men have literally been subjecting women to being in a psychosis by fucking with their mental, emotional, hormonal state through medications, bro. This is a real thing, okay? So the type of partners that we choose, the type of situations, the type of psychoses, the type of intensities that we are subjected to have to do with what the woman's balance is, right? So when women are on like birth controls and stuff like this, the type of partners that they choose are completely different because their level of hormones and safety and this and that. So people normally, what I notice is most of the abusive and narcissistic relationships are women that have been on long-term runs of birth control because they're in that systematical, that patriarchal energy. And I'm not trying to say anything, like, I think men are amazing, okay? I think men are fucking amazing. I would love nothing more than to have a nice man around the house that could help me fix some things now and again, that I didn't have to do it all on my own. I would love nothing more than to be in feminine state all the time, right? I think that men, and this is what I was saying before, I think that as we're healing a lot of these trauma wounds, a lot of them come from the men, from the systematic order of how patriarchy or whatever, religion, patriarchy, all of it has programmed the men to be. So it's like almost like they don't, unless they're actively doing all the work, unless they have these partners, unless they do all that, whatever, unless they're actively seeking it, they really just don't even have the capacity or the toolbox. Like, it's never been provided for you guys. So as the feminine is in this state of rising, right, in this state of stepping into the feminine power, feminine also has to understand masculine wasn't given or provided or taught or shown any of these fucking tools. This is a new thing. This is more like millennial Gen Z, where people are becoming this more emotional, conscious state, like, oh, well, let's let our kids do this or do that. Hello. And so that's what's going on, right? Is masculine, the energy as the collective is learning how to step out of this fight,
this lower mind state, out of the super reptilian mind state, which is like feed, fight, fuck, you know, power, money, whatever. Hello. Because they're moving out of that, right? They're learning how to move out of that because they haven't been allowed to be programmed to be able to have a state of emotional sense, right? So this is why it's been so imbalanced, right? It's like men couldn't cry, men couldn't do this, they couldn't do that, they couldn't like other, you know, it was like all these very interesting stipulations. The same as woman, the same as the lady, the female has been blocked from being able to own property or to have like this stuff was just barely legalized, you guys, in America in like the 60s or the 70s. Do you understand? Like this is a whole new time we are literally stepping into. We are creating this new era, KNEW. So why is it new like that? Because it's a series of remembrance. If you're incarnated here now, you are a spiritual badass. You are a spiritual warrior. You're here for a purpose. You're here to do something. And of course, in the purpose of being these new bringers of the light, keepers of the light, spiritual forefront warriors, like there's going to be a lot of darkness, a lot of darker entities and things like this that are going to try to attack. Now, even if we manage to keep our personal sovereign self or being, our spiritual being, clean and cleansed and pure or whatever, that doesn't mean that all of the people that we have around us are on the same level. In fact, these entities that are dark, that are looking to hop in, only have to have a little bit of substance intake, only have to have a little bit of overindulgence in the pleasure, in the food, in the whatever, to be able to hop in. And why are they doing that? They're hopping in to get to the bringer, the keeper of the light. Because that's the only way that they can get to the next levels, the higher levels of densities and dimensions. Like, seriously, it's the only way that they can do it. So they're seeking that. So know that as you're experiencing all these things, as you're experiencing all these crazy thoughts, all these other things, all that, like, you have to stop and check in with yourself. Put your hand on your heart. Say, is this for me? Is this in the best interest of my highest good, of my highest outcome, of my highest timeline? Does this person, does this place, does this food, does this thing, intuitive eating, intuitive drinking, intuitive emotional friendships, tune into it. You guys want to create a better balance, okay? It's not by all of the men like being in the feminine state when feminine is in the state of feminine rising, okay? Basically, the way that the guides showed me, the way that the Galactic Federation of Light was showing me, was that all these timelines and things like this, like alternate, parallel, reality, whatever, they're all collapsing and they're all closing. And basically, like, the way that they were showing me, I don't know if I can really articulate it properly into words, but I will do my best, okay? The way that they were showing me is that there was like three different main ways, I guess, that things could go, right? Basically, we can understand that feminine is source creation and we can reseat her where she belongs, right? We can start bringing things up like medical, everything else, everything has been, women have literally been written out of his story. That's why it's his story. So we can realize his story repeats itself. It has been repeating itself. And what is the definition of insanity? Repetitive, doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result or outcome. So the way they see it is, we've let this one run. Unless the collective consciousness can understand feminine's position and worship and seat her accordingly to being the divine, divinity itself, creation, God, source, creation itself, bringing from the ethers to the physical realm. Either they can do that right? Number one, first way. Okay, second way. They don't believe that that's possible. They would rather do a mass extinction. Let me just break that down. They do not, and they have not believed that it is possible. They would rather do a full reset, let the earth do a full mass extinction. Are you guys hearing me? I'm a seer, okay? This is real shit. So, I was like, but, and they're just like, listen, either the balance of masculine and feminine comes into thing, because masculine has been up here for eons and eons and eons and eons and eons. So unless it starts dropping its ego and raising feminine up, I see a very huge gap. There's a very big gap. So I was like, well, what's another solution? What's another solution? What's another solution? And they're just like, well, the divine feminine, as she's rising, as this Shakti and the Sophia and all of them are coming up. If you checked out my feed like a couple months ago, and people are like, you're fucking screaming. I'm like, no. This is the rage of ancient divine femininity that is like, listen, and listen fucking good. Before we brought man onto this planet, they at first were slaves. They were working. They were mining. Okay? When divine feminine decided to actually bring men, because before, in the beginning, in the first root races, right, they could produce the child. It didn't matter. There wasn't really like a specific masculine or feminine. It was like a being, right? And when it was time, it would be like a bud that would create, and they'd like pop it out. Like the way I see it is like a, like, have you ever grown a succulent? And when the succulents like create that little baby one, like that's basically like how they showed me, okay? They showed me this years and years ago. So this is basically how they showed me. They're like, listen, we don't need it, because all this energy, all this masculine, this Martian energy, right? Men are from Mars, women are from Venus. Yes, this Martian energy, foreign, evil. They came here a little bit different. This was more of a juvenile level of consciousness race. So they didn't believe. They're just like, yeah, we believe everybody is good, and we believe. And so when people came in, like Draconians and the Martian and whatever, and the reptilians, and they basically were like, listen, they use manipulation. They use like narcissist manipulation, fear, all these other tactics that these more high level, it created this fear, and they realized that they could feed off that, and so they fucking ran with it. The problem is that's not working anymore. It's not getting us anywhere. Again, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and over again, expecting a different result or outcome. That's literally the definition of insanity. So if we've been running the same thing on the same patriarchal masculine thing since Caesar, since Julius Caesar, since before that, it's like, that's why they burned. That's why the fires of Alexandria, that's why they burned it down, because women were allowed to teach and practice astrology, astronomy, all of this stuff, and they had these higher knowledges. And when they came in, they said, no, we are going to monotheism, like there's only one fucking God, and you can't have these different gods of the different elements and all these different elemental, all these different types of magic. Like, you can't do that anymore. Actually, we don't want to do that, because we're the patriarchy, and we're saying Christianity or Catholicism, whatever it was. And literally all those people were fucking beat and raped and defiled because they had more knowledge or more information. Now you guys want to wonder why the aliens are always in cloaked things. They're here. They've been here with us for a long time. You ever seen Men in Black? 100, like 1,000. They be doing that all day. So they've been here. That type of shit, humans' lower level of consciousness is why you don't see them yet. It's why they're waiting, because the consciousness is rising. The more that we say, okay, the more that we stop to say, we don't understand your knowledge or your technology, and you have these advanced weapons, so you could take us out, so we're just gonna fucking kill you. Boo, 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 boo. Like, no, okay, easy on the little piggy shit, easy on the oink oink, right? because that's some cop shit. That's like, I'm gonna shoot first, ask questions later. Like, no. And that's why they're not showing face, because people, human consciousness has been at a thing, is still on this thing trying to figure out. And even as you see the separation, like in the United States and stuff, Democratic, Republican, it's like masculine, feminine, it's all the separation, okay? Separation is the fear tactic. Separation is a fear tactic. Why are we saying right or left or blue or red or green or purple or fucking up your butt and around the corner? Why does it matter? What matters is, what do we collectively see or need to have a sustainable future together? And it doesn't matter if this fucking person or that party or that whatever, you had tits or it doesn't matter. None of that matters. All of that is separation. As we're leveling up in consciousness, fourth density, fifth density, this is unity consciousness, which means there is no lying, there is no manipulation, there is no sneaking, there is no, this doesn't exist. There is no like separation. We understand, and this is what we were talking about before. This is why I wouldn't hurt somebody. I wouldn't do something to somebody I wouldn't want them to do to me. This is when we're getting more to the golden ratio, the golden rule. Do unto others as you would have others do to you. Okay? So you can't go around being like, well, I was nice to all these people, but I beat my child, or I was fucking verbally, mentally, emotionally, psychotically abusive to my partner. Like, it doesn't work. Do you understand? Like, it doesn't work. You have to figure out, this is why I do the shadow dancing, right? Because you have to figure out where these shadows are and why they're coming up as different bad jobs, or why they're presenting themselves as new relationships or friendships or families or positions. Like, why does the same thing keep happening to you? Take a good hard look at yourself. Really take a good hard look at yourself and look at where the pattern is. Where is the pattern? Where's the same thing that keeps fucking happening? For me, forever it was people stealing my shit, taking my shit, and I was just like, people just be like, because my mom programmed into me like, well, you can make 1,000 more, what does it matter? And she was right. I can make 1,000 more. I can make more new stuff in 1 week than people could probably create in a lifetime. So I stopped being attached to it, because something that my grandpa always taught me when people would take stuff, my toys or whatever, he'd be like, you didn't really need it. And I'd be like, what do you mean? Like, that was my, like, what? I didn't do anything. It's not like I left it or did whatever. And he would have given it to like some other, like the cleaner's kid or some weird shit, like who knows, some kid on the street or like a cousin or something. And you're like, but why did you give away? And it's just like, listen, when people would take something, he'd be like, listen, obviously they needed it more than you did. And if you can look at that, if you can look at life with that perspective, it changes everything for you, right? So when you're just like, you know what? I gave all of my love, and that person didn't have the capacity to give the love back. Should I be angry about that? Should I say, I take all my love back that I ever fucking gave to you and blah, blah, blah? Like, no. I gave my love because that person probably needed it more than anybody else. Did they need it more than me directly? No. But the thing is until I could learn to value or love myself more, it was always about providing that love or that safety or that security to somebody else. Because of the level of narcissistic abuse I suffered in my life, I became hyper vigilant to everybody else's needs around me. And everybody else's needs around me were priority over mine. So for instance, I did a big job, like I would make something custom for people, and then they'd always give me this excuse. Well, I don't have all the money right now. All I have is this. So, but I really need to do this. And I like, I really like, I have this order coming in, or I really like, I already made this plan to go out to dinner or whatever. They would give me some fucking bullshit about whatever they needed. And because they were using a source of manipulation, because their intention of going into it was not to pay me and to manipulate me out of it, because they were using that, it's like I didn't want to like fight it. It'd just be like, okay, like, for some reason, I allowed, well, it's because my family put fucked up spell work on me, first of all. When people fuck up and trade their soul to the devil, and then they fucking have a kid and try to trade the kid's soul to the devil for the bullshit they did, it don't work like that, first of all. But it can be some pretty gnarly spell work, and so the reality is I was never able to get paid for anything that I really did. Baseline, like I've been under a baseline survival, and if any of you guys have been here watching me for a while, you can see I'm a very talented person. I know how to do many things that produce money. I can do anything with just about anything and create something amazing. So this is a real thing. The reality of the situation is, because of this block, because of the spell work, because of the monitoring, they had monitoring spirits on me, entities that could hop into other people to fucking hop onto me to prevent any of this stuff. So it is very interesting, but like, this is a reality. Now, if you're a higher being of light, then you understand we're in this spiritual warfare right now. So don't be fucking scared, like, oh my God, like, oh, there's entities in everybody, but you will be able to tell or see it, and just be aware that what they're trying to do is they're trying to work us up. They're trying to get us angry. They're trying to make us go back to old habits or substances or people or things like this that that you don't really know. You know what I'm saying? Like, and so this is a whole thing, right? And so you have to be aware. Sorry guys, let me come over here. I don't know why. I feel like the ancestors don't like looking at the little white letters on that screen. Because every time I go like this, I basically like, it's like having like a grandmother behind you with the chancla, you know, like she got the sandal, like don't make that face, it's gonna stick like that, you know, like my grandma always used to say that, stop making that face, it's gonna stick like that, because I always had really over expressionate faces. But anytime I try to go like this, it's like I'm getting slapped. I'm getting slapped with a ghost chancla. I don't know how else to say it. It's fucked up. Let's see what you guys are all saying. Sorry, I gotta read over here. My devices are fucked up. That's why I'm fundraising, you guys. Like, comment, subscribe, share. Go check out my Gibson Go. Hello, good morning. Hello, your name is Dylan. Hello, Dylan. My name is Zoe. Nice to meet you. Ken Ruby, are you single? Well, sweetie, I'm married to the moon. So when I find somebody whose emotions are as intense as the moon or as deep as the ocean, then we can talk. But until then, I'm a very little sensitive ball of light. A rainbow unicorn ball of light. Gaff. Yeah, that's right. Does that really work, bro? Yes, you need to up your game. I'm talking inside you're single. Yeah, I mean, you could just be like, has somebody proposed to you yet? There is nicer ways. Like, this is what we're talking about. Being a lot more honoring and worshiping the feminine, right? The more that you can be extra to the feminine, the more you're gonna balance out the imbalance in the whole collective. So either you can sit there as a man and figure out how to work all your trauma and move through all your emotions and sit there and cry like a little bitch about everything you've gone through since you were like 2 or 3 years old, or easier way to help process the collective trauma, take a woman out, send her some flowers, massage her feet. Like, it doesn't have to be a paid thing. Yeah, compliments are free. You can go out, sit somewhere and just compliment every woman that walks by, not hitting on her, but giving compliments. And when they're just like, are you trying to pick up a chick? You're just like, I'm here to give women compliments. Like, I guaranteed you'll have 5 women be like, look at this guy. He's just out here complimenting women for fun, not even to hit on them. Trust me, you'll make a lot more lady friends of quality a lot faster. Because when women see that men see what women are going through, for instance, they're like, you know what, it's you're on your period. Okay, you know what, here, I'm gonna order you some food, like here's some chocolate, whatever. Let me run you a bath, right? They're not dealing with a psychotic partner. She's in bed watching the movie, eating the chocolate, being like, oh my God, I love this dude. So much. Even if she does get pissed from something stupid you do, she'll be like, oh, you're so dumb for doing that. Come here, I love you. It's how we are dealing with Mother Nature, the feminine energy in general, you guys. So it's like, it's a whole deeper thing. And that's why I said, if that feels weird to you, then go out to Mother Nature, go to the ocean, go to nature and sit there and put your hands or your feet and say, wow, thank you for this river. This water is so nice. Thank you for this rain. Like, wow, your flowers are so beautiful. Like, it literally can be that simple, you guys. I know that sounds like, but it's as the conscious, it's like 100 monkeys. When 100 monkeys, when they finally figured out that if they washed the mango when it fell, that they didn't have to spit out a bunch of the mango and eat the dirt. And after 100 monkeys figured that out, then all the other islands, all the monkeys just started fucking doing it. Just started doing it. They did the same experiment. You guys don't believe me? You can Google or ask your Jeep, whatever, right? They did this also with humans. They did the same theory. They showed them a picture. Here's all these different faces. How many do you find? The first time they found 21 or 25 faces. Then they took it to another place on the other side of the country. How many do you see? At this time, people saw like maybe 50 or 60. They're like, wow, how come? And so they took it back to even another place. But this time, they showed them. They showed them where all the faces were, right? They did another experiment where they just showed them where all the faces were in the picture, like da-da-da-da-da. And then they took the picture again to another audience and said, okay, how many faces can you find in it? And almost all of them found the 100 faces or whatever it was, right? So what is this an example of? This is an example of the theory of collective consciousness, which means as a collective, right, as we raise our personal level of consciousness, our personal frequency, our consciousness for ourselves, it has a ripple out effect. Like the last conversation I was talking to my home, she was talking about here, and she was saying, yeah, after you did this, then it was that person, and it was that person, and it's a ripple effect. And I noticed even different people, even different feminines, were all calling me from different places in the world. They had no idea what I was going through. They were all going through the same thing. There are 5 different countries, you guys. So it's a ripple effect. We are not like, it's like you and me, we're not so different. That had never been truer. That's never been truer. We're on the same collective wounding and healing frame and regiment. We're in this together. You know what I'm saying? You're on your own, but you're not alone. Like the same thing that you experience with your family, someone else experienced with their family. You know, like it's not that much different. Just the players and the location change, you know? Just like a fucking game. Just like chess. Would you rather watch a knee grow a tree grow? By the way, is your name Harry Cox? I don't know, but why I resonate with you so heavy. I be in the background, but I be paying attention. Okay, guys? As long as it's doing something for somebody, I don't really care. But again, bring some good commentary, okay? So it's about stepping out of this energy of the devil. It's about this cage, right? And if you notice, he's got this jester hat on here, right? So if he has this jester hat, this is basically showing that he's like the Joker. He's like the fool. So it's like, this is what happens when we get stuck in our foolish actions, right? This is what happens when, like, let's say I was subject to this thing and now I'm feeling like a fool. Many people can be feeling like this. Look at that, 444. Many people can be feeling like this. They can be trapped in their own mental prison. Why? Their own mental prison can look like, I have to get up and go to work to
fulfill somebody else's lifelong company dream when they don't even care, you know, when they can't give me 2 weeks off. And in order for me to reset my nervous system, I need fucking 30 to 90 days to be a functional human. Right? So what are we doing? We're human doings or we're human beings? We're human doings or we're human beings? We're human beings. Hue is a level or frequency of light. Human is a being of light. So where is the light that you're finding within? Because there is these demonic energies that are very attentively looking to dim or extinguish your light. I don't know why. Sorry, guys. Let me, give me 1 second. I gotta turn this music down. Okay. These kids outside, they're always spreading, doing weird stuff. I don't know what they're doing. These naughty little other kids that came over, they're like, they're trying to put, I know their parents are trying to put fucking weird spells or some shit on me. They put this block of wood with all these termites and shit, like this old eaten out block of wood with all these termites under, and then they put this other like a flea, like a thing full of fleas or maggots or fucking something, like in this water bottle. Like they put all this stuff over my fence or whatever. They try to put like, you know, it's even really funny. They try to put like some cockroaches in the room downstairs because I have a window open because I live in subtropic climate, so things can mold a lot. So that's why I like to open all the doors and windows all the time. Anyways, they put that shit in there, and imagine, excuse me, this is how protected I am. Excuse me, on a divine spiritual level. The ancestors are really disgusted by it. But yeah, they try to put like some weird spider spell where the spiders were like trying to fucking take over my whole, it was so weird. Anyways, they try to drop these roaches or whatever, these fucking bugs, these big ass water bugs into because they know I don't like they know they don't like the bugs. That's why they fuck with me with bugs, with all these little boys. And anyways, they try to put them in the fucking room, and the bugs died. Like they just went up like upside down, and they're like, and like died. And so I'm just like, either I'm that spiritually protected that these bugs are dying, or number one, or they're doing what they tried to do before, and they're trying to put some type of poison or some type of fucking like pesticide, some weird shit, like poison that they put on the bug and give it to get the cat to fuck with it. But even my cat was smart. Even my cat wouldn't touch it. I was like, don't touch that. It's poison. She was like, meow. Like, I know, homie. So crazy. People are fucking psycho. So anyways, again, that's a bad spell. I shouldn't be saying that. I shouldn't be saying that. I call myself out. You should call yourself out when we notice. So this is a really good way to heal, to fix our speech, okay? Like, I cuss a lot. I don't have any need to. I just do, because it's just maybe part of my style. I don't really know. Someone asked me, they're like, but you couldn't be around children, you know, you couldn't be in a position where you couldn't cuss. And I was like, sure, that costs extra. You're not paying me. You're not paid. Like, if you pay me, like if you sit down and do a session, I'm going to be so soft and gentle. Like how I ask people is like, what level, like when you're talking to your chat GPT, like what level of interaction would you like? Like, do you need like
extra compassionate? Do you need a little bit more like tougher, like a little bit more aggressive, like more tough love? Like, do you like, how would you like me to communicate or to hold you accountable, you know, to bring things to your attention, right? But yeah, obviously, when I'm doing sessions, we get to the point, we do the cards and we do all of this. Here, we're hanging out talking. Like, if I can find 1 to 5 people that are having good conversation or that are getting something out of it, like, that's all that matters, right? It's like that saying, you know, it's like if what I did affected even one person, then I more than did my job. If what I did affected 10 people or 100 people, you know, then that's what it is, right? So that's the best thing that you can do. Hi, hello, welcome. So for some of you guys, okay, let's see. New messages for the collective. For some of you guys, you could be working for some of you guys, you could be working with somebody. For some of you guys, you could be working either on a home, okay? It looks like somebody's working on creating this home. Somebody has created the home, potentially. 9 of Cups. They're feeling, they have a wish fulfillment, okay? They may be feeling a little sad, okay? Maybe for some of them, they could have felt like they missed an opportunity. They could be thinking about somebody, either a past love. They could be thinking about somebody that actually did maybe pass away, or just like old versions of ourselves also. Like sometimes as we go back, like what I did before the new moon, right? As I was saying, okay, we're not manifesting, but we're really getting into alignment, what we need, what new version of us is coming forward, and how that version has developed over time, right? Where certain things that we did before are maybe shining through now, or we're reevaluating old portions of ourselves, like what parts of ourselves we want to bring forward into this new era of ourselves, of the collective, of everything like this, right? And so what I did is I actually had this moment with myself where I was like, all right, I'm gonna do this. I didn't want to do it, but I took a notebook, right, and I started back, and I started going with all the partners, right, that I've had, like all the different boyfriends, whatever, that I've had, and basically like writing. So what I did is I wrote I can't see, I have to go reading closer. I wrote like all of the things first, the things that I like these people, okay? All the things that attracted me to them. And then the second line was all of the things that made me, like why we broke up, or all of the things that were like in distaste, like things that, you know, when you end with somebody, you want to be like, what did I learn, or whatever, like this. So I made this whole list of all these people, and I went back and I looked, what are all of the similar factors? Like, how did I feel? How did I act? How did I feel? How did they feel? You know, like what was the grand thing? Because what I wanted to do was not dwell on the past of all of these things that had happened, all these past people. I wanted to know what I was like looking for. What were the key character traits, or partner traits that I wanted to bring in or call in for the new, better, evolved version of myself, but also the partner, right? Now, we can't expect to have this perfect, evolved partner if we haven't done the work ourselves, right? Everything is frequency and energy, so it's matching us where we're at, right? Love meets us when we're at the proper frequency to be able to receive it, not when we want it, not when we demand it, right? It meets us when we've hit that level. And so that's why sometimes we'll find ourselves, our reflection, right? Our mirror partner or whoever, sometimes we'll find these things that we didn't like within them. And really it's something that we need to reflect within ourselves. And that's why some of the greatest emotional healing or trauma healing can actually come from relationships. Some of the best healing like that you can't get in any other space is in intimate relationships, okay? Because of that. So what I see going on here is this person may have been working for a long time to get their wish fulfillment, right? Something, okay? Something could have maybe a place. Okay, so here's the thing. They're working on this home. So in this deck, it has these 4 extra cards. They're called the palaces. And this palace of coins. So this is like, maybe he's been working to make the money, right? The coins, this is like physical matters, right? Pentacles is physical matters. Hello. And so they've been working to create this stability, okay? They've been working to create a home space or stability. Maybe they've been working on it on themselves. See how this person is here by themselves? Normally the 3 of Pentacles has 3 people working together. So what this shows is this person has been working on themselves, and this is going back to the ripple effect, right? We can reach our wish fulfillment as long as we are doing our work and we're not worried about what everybody else is doing. Because when we're thinking about all these other people and all these other things, right? We're not in this happy space. So this is what they've been maybe working on. Maybe they've been working on moving through these emotions, healing this trauma. And this can be, so sometimes we need time. And this is something that people don't really process a lot too. In trauma healing, we need, you guys gotta slow down. Slow down, please. Now you're giving me a headache. Slow down, slow down, slow down. Hold on 1 second, you guys. Calm down. Calm down. The Palace of Cups. So, the Palace of Cups is this space. It's because the water is our emotions, our soul, right? So we're coming back to this place where our soul, where we can express, where our emotions aren't too much, where our soul feels met and seen and held and loved and honored and respected. And so what happens is, as we experience these traumas, these losses, and especially like I feel a lot in masculine energy, because they're not really allowed to grieve, okay? So something that takes time as we're healing trauma is this time to grieve. This is a huge, look, it gives me so many goosebumps. This is a huge part of trauma healing that we overlook. Like collectively, we overlook this, okay? For instance, people are like, well, what did you do? You went to rehab, it's like, no, I spent time at my house by myself with no exterior noise or influence. Why? I sat and I processed and I thought about things. I grieved the father that I never got to have. I grieved the shitty brothers. I grieved the not having the mother and just wanting it. I grieved going back and still trying to make them my family 40 years fucking later and still getting the same result. You have to sometimes grieve the time that you didn't get to finish spending with this person that left too soon. Okay, sometimes you have to grieve the fact that you fucked up in a relationship and you don't sometimes get to go back and fix that. Sometimes you have to grieve losses, whether it's a person, whether it's a job, like even ourself, right? Sometimes as we're birthing into this new version of ourselves, we have to grieve this past version of ourselves. this old version of ourselves, like that people project, right? That our family will always see us as this whatever, or our other friends, or the people we went to high school with, they'll always see us as this or as that. We have to grieve those old past versions of ourselves, those old versions that people kept locked in their heads or in their minds, or as part of your perception, as part of your projection, right? This being perceived. And so you have to sometimes take time to grieve. For what I'm feeling here is this masculine, this is very strong masculine energy. Very strong water sign masculine energy. They're grieving because they've spent all this time, because what they were told, right? What they were told in life was, in order to get this happy ending, in order to get this wish fulfillment, right? You have to work hard. You have to work really hard in order to get all this. You have to work hard, you have to go to school, you have to pay the bills, you have to pay the taxes, you have to do all this, you have to build the house, you have to do all of this. And so they've been doing all that, being like, I'm doing all the things, I'm doing all the things, I'm doing all the things. And now they're over here like, but I don't understand, right? Because now I'm at this emotional state, and I don't know how to feel these emotions, and I don't know how to express these emotions, and I don't know how to regulate these emotions, because I've never been taught or understood how to do that. I've never had the home or the space, the container to do so. And that's what this Palace of Cups is. It's this space where people can really get to this more emotional, hold on, let me get the book, to this more emotional state. And that's really like 100% what it breaks down to. And so what I'm picking up on here is the masculine collective is like, fuck, like I wasted all this time. I didn't learn how to create healthy relationships, maybe even with myself, or maybe with feminine energy. I just worked. I just worked because that's what I was told to do, because I was told a man has to provide. And now I'm feeling sad. I'm feeling lost. I'm feeling distraught. I'm in this emotional state. And I don't have this wish fulfillment. I just am still here working on it by myself. God, you guys, this is heavy. So if you're new here, I channel a lot of different collective energies. They're telling me that I should read this to you, though, the Palace of Cups. So as people come in, sometimes I will channel your ancestors or your guides. But generally speaking, I put prayers out to Universe, Source, Creator. Okay, they want me to do it again. Somebody who's entered the chat needs some, they need some sage. Okay, hold on. And cleansing, not just bathing, but spiritual cleansing. You know, you can do spiritual cleansing. You can wash your hands or your feet, like immerse them in water, running water many times a day. You can do incense, sage, Palo Santo, whatever. Dear Universe, Source, Creator, Spirit Guides, Angels, Ancestors, Archangels, Galactic Federation of Light, Ascended Masters, Aliens, all of the higher galactic beings and entities that are here of the highest vibrational frequency and love and light, to guide all of us and the collective consciousness to the highest possible outcome and timeline while remaining protected in this space. We thank thee for your guidance and your clarity, and for your presence and for your protection. We ask that you bless the collective. Let them feel this cleansing sage. Allow it. Feel the smoke, like imagine it coming around you, you know? You can envision sometimes the smell or whatever. Like a lot of, as we come into these higher levels of consciousness, visualization, they're telling me, is so important, but not just the visualization, the feeling, right? The Palace of Cups, tapping into how that feels, right? Like imagine if you're going for a walk when it's fall and all the leaves are falling, like what would you, like I would be like, oh, it would be like this crisp sound of like leaves blowing and like the wind and like, like maybe like an eerie, like, I don't know. If I was going down in the water, I'd be like, I would feel the waves, it's like breath to me. The waves are like breath to me. And so I would feel that, like experience it, like close your eyes and imagine you're there. They say that, visualize, like this is a real thing. Like if you wake up every day and you're just like, oh, another shitty day, like you just visualized yourself into another shitty day. For real. It's really like that. It's really, really, really like that. Your thoughts are powerful. Palace of Swords, a cool, serene environment where subtle moods can be explored. The plants on the seafloor represent mysterious processes in our subconscious, which can only be revealed in quiet and gentle circumstances. The jellyfish indicates messages and dreams, which slowly rise from the ocean's depths. Knight of Cups stands guard to protect the vulnerable, delicately formed flora and fauna. Okay, so as you guys know, the Knight of Cups is the one who's coming to offer this love. So what I see here, the energy is masculine is grieving. They're grieving all of the time that they lost, maybe being too angry, maybe not being in touch, maybe not being in touch with feminine energy. Because here's the thing, it's not just about worship the queen, right? Of course, yeah, worship the goddess, praise the goddess. Goddess, great. Yeah? So, but the thing is as you do that, this is why I tell you it's like the shortcut way. I know you men like that shortcut, easy, quicker way out. So either you do trauma work and go to therapy and process all of the stuff that you've had since you didn't process since you were a child, or you start to be in service and worshiping feminine energy. Because what's going to happen is as you do that, every time you do that, not only does it create the ripple in the collective consciousness, but when we do something like for somebody else, we're also doing it for ourselves, right? There's something that we get out of doing that. And this is where I think religion kind of messed up the whole being of service, right? Don't be of service to where you're fucking have served yourself, have overserved yourself, okay? But again, when you're feeling like stuck or anything like that, go out, make an offering or do an act of service for nature, for Mother Nature, for a feminine energy, right? And I guarantee you, all of a sudden, your block will probably be open, okay? Because what you're gonna see or what you're going to feel, right? What you're going to experience is this nurturing compassion of, oh my God, you're in pain? Oh, you don't feel safe right now? Let me create that safety. Let me protect you. And as you do that, what you do is you become that safe emotional state of masculinity. Does that make sense to you guys? So what happens is in your state of sensitivity or compassion, you unlock it. Like, it gives me so many goosebumps. You unlock it within masculinity itself, because you have now as an entity or a being that has chosen to be in a masculine form. I'm not. I'm obviously feminine form. I'm speaking to obviously masculine collective right now. But since you've chosen to incarnate in a masculine form, to balance out the masculine and feminine energy, to not be over emotional or feel like, but nobody shows up. Nobody does that, okay? Show up for yourself in that way. And if that's too hard because you haven't tried it, try, attempt, or do show up for a feminine energy, right? Sense some compassion. Wow, you really must have had to go through a lot. I didn't really realize that every female has experienced some form of sexual assault or harassment. Everyone. Literally, probably every woman you ever know has been raped, molested, defiled. They just don't talk about it. They don't talk about it. So next time you see a woman, a girl, whatever, your friend, your sister, your mother, whatever, next time that you see them in this state of freaking out or stress or whatever, offer something, you know, can I get you a drink? Can I give you a foot massage? Can I send you to get a massage? Something, right? Okay, do you want me to rub your neck? Like an offering, you know? Maybe it's even just, wow, you've really been through a lot. I commend you. I commend you for your strength, feminine. Okay, that gives me goosebumps. So sometimes it's just about recognizing that's where it's been out of balance in the collective. Is acknowledging that it's not just been the man that's the struggle, the man that's had the fight, the man, that's something that patriarchy created and feminine hasn't had. And that's why masculine is feeling this, you know, this sadness, is because collectively they're experiencing and feeling this within the collective frequency. So the parts, the feminine parts of themselves that they didn't give that energy or attention to are also fucking screaming and crying and kicking. They're having a hard time because they don't have that stability. Because they also haven't experienced or felt that physical stability. Now, for many of you guys, there's been this masculine wound where they maybe didn't have that stability, okay? For many people, the stability came from not having the father or from not having the finances, right? This is about stable home or environment, right? So some of these people, maybe they came out in this more aggressive manner because they didn't have that. They didn't have the stability. So they had to become more strong, right? This is like when people are like, oh, you're like kind of intense. Like when people call me masculine, I'm just like, show me a man. Show me a man and you will see a lady. As long as I have to be everything, deal with it. Do you understand? And that's where feminine collective is. It's like, dude, how much more can you take? How much more can you defile? How much more? And so this is what they were telling me. Literally, is like, either we eradicate, right? Either Earth is like mass extinction, like get rid of man completely. And I'm like, whoa, 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 whoa. And I had to sit down for like a week or two trying to get a clear answer. Does this mean if it means we're gonna eliminate man, does that mean we're eliminating the male species or like mankind? I had to really go back and forth and sit with it, and they wouldn't really tell me. They wouldn't, and this is where the translation comes in, right? And so that's why I was freaking out. That's why I was telling my last partner, and he's like, well, I didn't do all these things. I didn't do all these things. It's like, it doesn't matter whether you did them or not. You're here now as representative of masculinity, right? As your own sovereign representative of masculinity. Maybe it will do you and everybody else a favor to just say, I'm sorry that you had to suffer that and feel that for all these centuries, whatever. Embrace and hold feminine and apologize as if you're apologizing on behalf of masculine self. Because whether you did that to her or not, masculine, okay? Whether you personally did that to the feminine collective or not, Your fucking ancestors. Every fucking man before that ever. So, if you want to become in this more masculine state, stop being the fucking victim and understand where that's coming from. That's this inner emotion. Sophia planted that love, that grace to remember compassion. And that is why the males are having this weird epidemic, because they're overfeeling this. And the reason why they're overfeeling that is because they still feel like there should be this balance of, well, you're the housewife and I'm this, but they're not. The way that the world is created right now, first of all, they're not providing the same that they were in the 40s or the 50s, number one. Number two, let's be fair. The way that the world and how money is made, how everything is just fucking so expensive in the world, they make it nearly impossible for men or one single person to be able to provide for a family singularly. Okay? It pretty much is almost non-existent in this day and age, unless you have a lot of money or you live somewhere or you're getting something, like it doesn't exist. So feminine, you have to show a little compassion to the masculine about that out there. Okay? Just let's be real. For me, I'm a little bit in a different state. I'm in a different country, I live in Indonesia. It's not that much, like my year's rent is like 10 or 12,000. It's a little bit different. That's like in America or California, that's like 3 months rent without utilities. So if you are going to need to move into a house or a place or anything like that, you need first, last, and deposit. So for me, I'm like, yeah, if you can't provide, I'm not asking for a fucking castle in Malibu, bro. Funny story. So, start by, if you can't provide all the exterior, if you can't provide financial, start by providing mental or emotional security, right? Start by providing that. 9 of Swords in reverse, okay? It's like if feminine has to constantly be in a state of needing to protect herself, then they're gonna be fucking cunty to males. So when you respect or honor a woman, any woman, you create a ripple effect. Whether she's yours or your sister or your daughter, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Just ain't no home anytime she goes away. That's right, Bill Withers. Ain't no sunshine. She goes away. Because imagine if they eradicated, imagine like they were doing I saw this the other day. I saw this reel, right? And this guy went up and he was like asking all these women, would you relocate to a planet with only women? Like, would you be cool to relocate to a planet with only women without men? Every woman immediately said, absolutely. When can I go? Like, wasn't even a fucking half a second thought. Not even a half a second. Fuck yeah. Where do I sign up? Ask person after person, woman after woman. Same fucking answer. Like nothing. Nothing. And they're just like, but you're not going to have any men. And just like, yeah, but we're going to have all the women, right? All my best friends? Cool. Because without the men, there's no jealousy. There's no competition. There's no fucking manipulation. There's no game, right? So then the guy went and he asked all the men, would you be ready to move to a planet where there's just men? Every man immediately was like, fuck no. Fuck no. I'll take my chances in the apocalypse. Yeah, bro. Like, I'll take my, like, no. So what does that say? Not just that men would rather have women as company. It says something very strong about what is safety, you know? Somebody made a comment, and they're just like, well, who are you getting dressed up for? You're getting dressed up for men. You're getting dressed for men. It's like, well, first of all, I'm getting dressed for myself, but yeah, I'm getting dressed for men. Why? Because if it was just women or the men weren't fucking creepy, I wouldn't have to get dressed. I would probably be walking around naked, like the Garden of Eden still. If I wasn't having to worry about predators and fucking creepers and whatever, like, I guarantee if you ask about 98% of women are gonna have the same response. Guaranteed. Yes. Yes, because that's how we've been programmed. It's how we've been programmed. You know how long it was before women could even wear pants? Not that fucking long ago, you guys. Not that long ago. So, this masculine wants to come in to offer reciprocity. Okay? Now, reciprocity is an equal energetic exchange, okay? Or something reciprocating what was exchanged. So, let's say, for instance, just so you guys know, reciprocation or reciprocity isn't necessarily tit for tat, okay? It's not equal, it's not dollar for dollar, cent for cent, nickel for nickel. It's not like that. So let's say, for instance, a man brings home food, whatever, right? A woman then decides, okay, I'm going to prepare the meal, right? You provided this, I'm going to turn it into, this is what women do, expand whatever they're given, they amplify it. Expand, grow, amplify, that's what we do. That's our energetic makeup. Expand, amplify, grow. That's what feminine energy does. So they bring this thing to us. We say, okay, we expand it. We take these things, we create them into this other thing, into this whole meal, right? And then you feed, we nurture you, you feel good, wow, okay, blah, blah, right? So the energy exchange would be, cool, well, I cooked and prepared the meal, and okay, the dude's just doing, or whoever, the friends, whoever, is just doing the dishes and cleaning the kitchen, like, so you don't have to, right? This is reciprocity, right? It's understanding that not everything that everybody does is going to be equal or tit for tat. It's saying, I know in the ways that I can show up and things that I can do. For instance, let's say your partner's really stressed out, but they're trying to do something, like, can you help them by getting their clothes, or can you help them by cleaning the floor, or can you help them by getting gas in the vehicle, or do you know what I'm saying? Like, what is something you can be of service to help a situation, right? That's the best thing I can think of. It's the best advice I can think of as far as to tell men, this is the easy way out, right? Because I don't know what the outcome is, but right now the higher species aren't seeing a lot of super awakened consciousness within masculine energy. I'm not saying you guys aren't out there and you don't exist. I know there's many. Oh, whoops. The tower was there. I know there's many that exist here within my collective for sure. You know, don't take it personally. I'm just saying, generally speaking, if we're doing like a numbers, obviously for many of us, feminine is more awakened. So we need to bring this back into balance. And how we do that is by stepping out, by not hiding, by not having these secrets or these hidden things. If you guys are engaging in any type of work or partnerships or friendships or business, if you're involved in anything where you have to lie, cheat, deceive, where you have to be inauthentic to your soul's being, it's not going to be comfortable, and it's not going to get any more comfortable. Okay, it's going to keep creating this instability, right? It's going to keep creating this instability, especially with there's no sustainability or stability with in and out lovers. This is going to end. The age of harvesting sexual energy. Hello. The age of harvesting sexual energy is going to end, you guys. It's not secure. It's not secure. It's not sustainable. Yeah, 5 of Swords, 7 of Swords. 8 of Swords, yeah. It's like the only thing that it accomplishes is keeping us in our own mental prison. See how she's stuck here? It's like, but I know all these things. See how she's like naked? So it's like she knows, but she's literally stuck in this bubble. It's like where someone thought that they could outsmart through words or actions, whatever. I can just keep doing what I'm gonna do. No, you can't. It's not sustainable. If it's like whoever is not gonna get on board with this next frequency, it's like the earth is like gonna separate. I don't know how to say it. It's like separating from itself. Yeah, it's like walking away from itself. It's like the earth is ghosting itself. I don't know how to say it better, you guys. It's like some people chose to be here and to remain in third density. Some people choose to just to keep running their bad habits and their things like that. And if that's what they're doing, you know, they're gonna end up, now, don't mean to be intense about it, but like what they told me is pretty much they're gonna end up like sick or diseased or something like that. Like, look at this. They're gonna be in this mental, it's like, for many of them, they were already given the option or the choice to walk away. They were even actually given the choice to walk away and be supported. See these 8 of Cups? And instead, what they walked away is they returned back to the bullshit instead of walking away from the bullshit. Because what happens is in our minds, we get stuck in this, we get stuck in comfort, right? Humans really just get comfortable with what's easy, right? Like life begins outside our comfort zone. So sometimes we have to step out of that state and get uncomfortable for the growth, you know? So yeah, that's where the justice is coming in. So what it's saying is this is it's like where they thought that they were getting away with it on the base third density justice system, where they thought that they were getting away with it. Now that we have this now that we have all of them, like I've been calling them in all year, like, can I get my fam in here because I'm fucking need some backup. Now they out here. You guys out here? Give us a little crack. Give us a little thunder. Give us a little slaps. So what they're saying basically is this is on it's like a galactic jury. Oh, it's crazy. It was like a lightning that was like coming from the beach, like, whoa, it's trippy. Like a tracer lightning or tracer thunder. Wow, that was trippy. But what they're showing me is it will be made balanced, okay? Right now it's out of balance, and it's been out of balance, and they let it run that way for so long, and now what they're getting is they've been receiving all of these prayers and all of these cries, and so they're coming in to make it even. So this is like a cosmic, it's like the great reset. It's like a great cosmic reset. Don't do that with the chancla. Hold on. Gotta get this one going over here. You gotta unplug it. How to let it charge. They will have to play catch up. I don't think so. Like we're splitting dimensions. We're splitting, like, the way that they showed me is basically like, so basically this, since about this time last year, they've been showing me that slowly, yeah, look at it. It's like you either chose the red pill or the blue pill, right? You either choose like, I'm ready to do the work, like I'm ready to make the commit, like I'm gonna take the blue pill and like fucking suffer, like either you're Neo or you're the dude that's like, I'm sick of eating the slop. I wanna go back to the bliss of not being enlightened. Like ignorance is bliss. Remember in the movie Matrix? And the guy was like, I wanna fucking taste steak again. That's basically where we're at. That's basically where we're at, okay? Red pill, blue pill. Do you want to keep living in the illusion of being in fear, being trapped, being in this being systematically a slave, right? That is why man was first here. They want to terraform the planet. That's why they want everything to go AI. Why? Because they're going to have artificial intelligence controlling and running and manipulating you like it is in China, you guys. That's why they made it clear, and I've been talking about this for months. If you've been following me, if you haven't, maybe you should go back and start watching. But I've been talking about this for months. Either we're choosing a very organic timeline or a very synthetic timeline. The synthetic timeline is filled with everything, like buying synthetics, buying plastics, using AI, always being on the social media. Like the organic timeline is we want to grow our food. We want clean water, right? We're understanding that we're buying sustainable stuff. We're not mass producing. We're not creating things out of polys and plastics. We're not sucking the planet. We understand that there's a plethora of free energy accessible to us, and if we don't take more than we need, if we don't overproduce or fucking take, then there's more than enough of everything on this planet to go around. More than enough. Probably 5 times the amount of food and resources easily that we need to feed and shelter the world around. But that doesn't get the tops paid. That doesn't keep you in fear to work, to be submissive, to be like that. And so that's where they're like, we're gonna see who is the fucking hive worker and who are the advanced light beings that are ready to fucking go when the world is like, shoo. Imagine it's just like literally like coming a little bit off of itself, but it's like the multiverse, right? Like Spideyverse, right? You guys ever see Spidey, the multiverse or whatever? I didn't even watch the whole thing, but I saw part of it and I was like, what is this? This is so on point. But that's what it is, right? As they're jumping, it's like what I was talking about in the last one, Rick and Morty's, right? As they're jumping in these different parallel worlds or realities or dimensions, right? They're seeing almost the same thing, almost the same characters, but there's something like a little bit different about them, you know? So you have to imagine the way that they showed me is basically there's all these timelines and everything, but a lot of these timelines, they're trying to run a time loop to extend, but the timelines, those had ended. They weren't supposed to go that long. And so what's happening is all these other versions are having to jump ship. Either they're being destroyed in that time and that whatever is ending, right? Because just imagine there's multiple versions and infinite versions of yourself. So maybe in this version, I'm this version of Zoe. Maybe in another version, I just kept staying on the ocean. Maybe I have a whole fucking fleet. Do you know, like in another version, I married the last dude and had a baby. You know, like there's all these different versions. So as we see it, as we see all these different parallel realities, they're coming in, and basically these timelines are all beginning to collide and many of them to collapse into each other. And so that's why you may see like, what? Like, I remember this show, but it was like this, or I remember the word, or it was like this, like Paddington Bear, not Pattington. Like you'll start to see those small glitches in the matrix, and that's where it is, where it hasn't either made the shift over or where you've actually jumped, where you quantum leaped where you jump timelines and now you're, because the way that they show me is it's like this. People chose either the red or the blue, right? They chose either the red or the blue. He saved all of his animals on a boat for thousands of years, more than we see today. Yeah, I mean, that's basically, bro, that's basically what's happening. Okay, that's what's happening. But it's like, I don't like that. That's what they were telling me is either we can come into peace, either we can come into unity, right? I begged for like 1 more year, please. Right? Yeah, you see the Grand Canyon and the earth and all that shit split? Like, that wasn't a fucking earthquake, bro. That was a laser beam, bro. That was bro, there was nuclear wars. Like, what happened to all the civilizations? Like, some of them did just go up to the next dimension, but maybe there was, I don't know, cataclysm, nuclear war. There was more than one fucking flood. I think there was like 3 or 5 main floods, right? That was how they're purifying. So imagine this is where we are in the next mass extinction, and the higher ups are like, you know, we don't really know. We thought with this this global level of consciousness, we thought it was gonna work this time. We fucking thought that this fucking, we thought they were gonna do it. They said, we're ready, Captain, put us in. And they're all still half asleep, arguing about politics and fucking religion and dick over pussy, instead of understanding the higher divine divinity within, right? Exactly, they have the Blu-ray machine using dams to flood on high tides. So I don't know what the Blu-ray machine is, but I do know that there is a lot of, so a lot of the Blu-rays are types of twin flames also. And that's what I'm saying is this energy, this higher frequency, we're humans, light beings. So imagine if we're just this particle or thread coming from this bigger fucking thing, and this bigger thing now comes back and it's like, boom, and sends on the full, get the full download of light, and you haven't been doing the work, you're just gonna disintegrate into ashes. Like, imagine when a vampire, this is like the energy, when the vampire hits the sun and the sun's like burning them, that's the same energy, okay? But I don't know if it's necessarily like vampires, it's the vampiric energies, right? The werewolf energies. Now, these also can be very real things. Don't get me wrong, not talking shit on anybody, right? Like Sasquatch and shit like that, right? Like that was one of the first bred species, original species of humanoids, right? That didn't do the hybridization. That's why sometimes you see it, because they can literally like cloak themselves, right? That's a real thing. Okay, I'm not a fucking psycho, but that's a real thing, people. So when we came in, right, they've been telling us you need to choose a side. You need to choose red pill or blue pill, because as you choose to embody this higher level of consciousness, as you chose to start choosing to get off of the toxicity or the people or the parasitic shit and people and things, right? As we made the choice to be on this higher level of consciousness, to start embodying our divinity, right? As we chose to step through this other pathway, what's happening is we've been getting all of these extra downloads, all these extra light DNA upgrades, right? So that's what I'm saying is you're here and you're experiencing all these ascension symptoms, but right now it's just a little bit more tired and a little bit more chaotic, because they're fucking with mind. It's frequency, sound, light, frequency. That's how they're seeing. So people that are like having issues in like in their brain, like it's like MK Ultra, right? Like this is what they're doing. It's like the weaponization is on a different level. They're seeing who's still in this fear, who's in this, who's in like, this is ultimate like cosmic judgment. Who really did the work? Like, you can't say, I've been doing the shadow work, because you're just reposting memes. Now, people think that's all I fucking do, but the only reason why I post memes on my Instagram and I don't engage is because I can't actually engage. because people don't have any fucking attention span. You don't want to have an attention span? Enjoy. I'm trying to download information. That's my job, and I can't download information if you guys can't even watch a 3-minute fucking reel. Like, that's why I put it on here. That way people can come back and watch it as they fucking please, when it's meant for them, when they're ready to receive the information. And if they're not, I also don't care. Doesn't matter. Commercial airline spraying. So, and here's an interesting thing. So they're calling it Blu-ray machine. Isn't that interesting? Because Blu-ray is the highest level of the twin flame connectivity. The same as when they called the terrorist group ISIS. You know why they did that? Because people were starting to realize that ISIS was the mother divine, the highest level of feminine. They were starting to realize that ISIS's temple is where they were getting all their power from. So what do? They changed that into a terrorist organization, into the name of a terrorist organization. So people would say that. Yes. So that's interesting. You're telling me that's a Blu-ray machine. I was like, Blu-ray is the highest level of twin flame. Because that's what we're doing. Because this Blu-ray, this ultimate Blu-ray, this third eye, it's like an indigo, right? It's like blue indigo, right? It's this indigo Blu-ray. It's like when we finally hit this crown, like the heart to crown. It's the Blu-ray. It's like the ultimate, like, did you guys see The Fifth Element? Do you guys remember The Fifth Element? Multi-pass. Now, in The Fifth Element, when they're finally putting all the different things, right? And if you guys haven't known, you can fucking Google later. You can Google later The Fifth Element, this scene. But in the end of the movie, and whatever, I don't care if I fucking ruin it for you. You can just stop listening, and I'll give a fucking heart when I'm done, okay? But it's very important to my point. So in the end of the movie, they're activating all this stuff, and the aliens are coming. This is basically the same shit. The aliens are coming, right, to fucking be like, you know, the time is up. We haven't seen the level of consciousness rise, so we got to start the experiment over. Fucking back to square A. Game over, redo. That's where it's at. Like, that's what they show me. And so what they show me is, as they're doing this earth, this fire, this water, this air, they're like, well, what's the other thing, right? And they put the girl, they put her in the middle. Remember? They put Leela, whatever, they put her in the middle. And then this fucking beam of light comes from all, and they find out, what's the fifth element, you guys? What is the fifth element? Love. Love. And that's why they say love always wins. It's not that just love isn't enough in a relationship. It's that love, like when we understand that the physical embodiment of love itself is femininity, the feminine energy, and we treat it as such, as this very special fifth element. Like, they don't even know. Like, the reason why most medical books and everything is written on man's anatomy and not woman's is because they still don't even know. Do you know, when I took my cat and I was like, well, why is it this and why is it that? And the vet fucking straight up told me. They were like, we don't know, actually, because cats are like this very special species. We work with all these different animals, and cats are this very special species. We don't know this, or this about them, or why. And I'm like, what? And they're like, yeah, they're kind of alien like that. And I was like, huh. Interesting, right? And that's my ancestry, is, even though I know, like, of course, the Lumerian, the Atlantean, of course, the Sirius B, of course, right? I remember, but Lyran, and it's not Lyran. It's not. Just so you guys know, let me debunk that. It's not Lyran, it's Lyran. Lyra. Lear, like Learjet was developed as part of their intelligence that they shared. Okay? This was developed at, like, bro, Lyran. Okay? Lyran. No. Lyran. Yes. Not lie. And again, that's another word where they changed, where they're pronouncing it different. because they wanted the history of the Lyran to become a lie, to where they programmed it through our spells, how we say things. So as we stop to pray to a man, to masculinity, pray. What is praying known as? And I don't mean like worshiping is to be in reverence, is to be in prayer and in reverence, right? That's what worshiping really is, right? It's creating an offering and to be in prayer and in reverence. To pray is how an animal hunts, to prey upon. So small little changes, we stalk prey. That's what I'm saying. To be in reverence and in prayer is not to pray to the Lord God Jesus. No, that's a man. God, yes. Lord, no, that's lording over. That's a land, a slave, or a property owner. That's Lord. Look it up, you guys. You don't believe me? You know, look it up. Google it, ChatGPT it. And that's why nobody has any fucking backslap talk, but stupid, oh, you wanna whatever, pussy, dick, whatever. That's the only dumb shit that comes up here, right? Because when people go and check that shit, they realize, shit, she's not just out here saying stuff. You actually know what the fuck you're talking about. Yes, I actually know what I'm talking about. I have so much Scorpio on my chart that I wouldn't bother to speak if I didn't know what I was talking about. That's very Scorpionic energy. And we don't like when people talk about things that they haven't researched and that they don't know about, and that they go around preaching them. That's false profiting. So I'm not out here giving you guys any false information. And if at some point it is, please try to bring it to my attention, because I would like to address it. If so, right? But the reality is, I very well pride myself in that. And that's something that I used to get really upset with my ex a lot about, is he'd be like, well, I think it's like, dude, if you're quoting shit that you think you know mixed with some other shit, like, stop. You're like a Facebook fucking, you know what I'm saying? You're like a fucking Facebook doctor over here, you know, like, well, shut up. Like, don't say shit. Don't say shit if, you guys, I can't see these. Show your feet and toes, please. That's what I'm saying. This is the only dumb shit that comes on. My feet and toes. You need to see if my feet are fucked up or what. You know, number 4 now, exactly. So the point of the situation is basically like, we have to be aware, right? We have to be aware of which path we're choosing. And on every different path we can choose to be like, again, show up and love and honor and worship the goddess. We can say, listen, we want to go towards this more organic timeline. This more organic timeline means we're going to be growing things. We're going to be working with nature. We're going to be more harmonious with our families, with our children, with our animals, with whatever, right? And that's where those fucking cows and goats, bro, like with those eggs and chickens, like, you might think now that that's a funny joke, but that might be valid later. Number 4 now together. What is this? Oh wait, hold on. Tay didn't see what you did. Oh yeah, of course. Right? We all out here now, so silly people. Silly people. So this masculine collective energy, that's why I'm giving this advice. If you want to balance it out in the easiest way without having to go through fucking lots of expensive therapy. I'm not saying don't go through therapy. I'm definitely not saying that, okay? What I'm saying is there is easier ways, you know? And if that's even just like, go and buy some random flowers, some random loose flowers, and go and give them out to people, to women or something like that look like they're having a rough day. You know what I'm like? Stand somewhere and open the door for a woman. Like, stop every time you see a woman, like, wait, let her go before you. Offer your hand, open the door, whatever. Like, it's just, for me, that's what I'm saying. So I was talking about it before, is like, when I was in Italy, like, that it was so second nature, right? Yeah, you had therapy, right? That's why we're here. We're at psychotherapy. That's, like, and that's the thing, is like the way that we come into processing things now is also going to be different, right? Like, I don't believe, like, I studied Psych K, which basically Dr. Bruce Lipton is one of the heads of this, right? And so he did all this stuff, all these studies and stuff on epigenetics, which is basically telling people, listen, just because your father had prostate cancer or your mother had breast cancer, just because of this doesn't mean it has to be yours. Epigenetic states that we can change our genetic code to some extent, right? That doesn't have to become ours. We decide that. And so that's what happens, is when people are like, oh, well, I had this traumatic thing happen and I have to go to therapy every week because I have to keep complaining about the same thing over and over again. No, you have to figure out where the pattern is, do the pattern disrupt, and then integrate once you fucking brought it out, process it, heal it, cry it, scream it, fuck it, whatever, get it out. Once it's out, okay, let it chill for a second, release it, and then figure out how to integrate what you learned, right? What was meant to come from you. And yeah, that's how you get that fresh start. Look at that. That's how you get that Ace of Coins, baby. That's how you get that fresh offering from the universe. That's how you get it. That's when you get it given. That's when you can ask and it shall be given, or whatever that is, right? Like, God, the guides hate me to say this, but I can't see. I can only see I have to put them, I have to show them. They're too small. But are you, if you left school at 14, like, did you go out to the school hard knocks? Because the reality is there's a lot of stuff in school that they don't teach you, like emotional regulation, like how to love or be loved, right? But then there's also a lot of things that you miss out on, right? There's a lot of things you have to grieve later on in life, right? Like, for me, I think at 14, I finally went back to public school, right? I went and was like, because I was so sick, I was so tired of being sick all the time, being in the hospital, this blood transfusion, all this shit, right? My mother made me sick, like sick. And just sucking the life force energy, right? And so I wanted to stay with my grandfather. I wanted to go back to school. And the thing is like, I think my mother took me out of school on like maybe 4th grade or something like that. So literally, I was like Cinderella. I was like, she was teaching me stuff. Don't get me wrong. I learned. I'll be learning the lessons. Like, that's why I'm very capable of doing thousands of things. Because I would do the academics. Now, she was a high school teacher. I'm not just saying she's some fucking wackadoo. She's a very educated person. She was teaching high school prior to that, okay? So when we were kids, when my brother and I were kids in elementary school, we were reading the books, we were reading Glass Menagerie and Animal. We were reading high school level work, like reading material. Like, because that's what she was going over. So, definitely was not uneducated, but the thing is she kept me there, kind of like the little maid, the nanny, the nurse, the whatever. And so when I became 14 is when I went back to school. Now, am I going to say that I learned a lot from school, from going back to school? Like, I don't know that I learned that much. Like, sure, okay, yeah, sure, I learned a lot more about horticulture. I'm not saying that I wouldn't probably learn, like, I didn't learn most of that from my grandmother. From my grandparents, they used to have a big farm, and then auto shop, but I learned a lot of that, also. But yeah, my uncle was a mechanic, so I don't know that I learned that much more. It was more of like social interactions. Like, what I did learn is having my mom make me, like, never give me my, like, I never got money. Like, I had to get grades that were this good in order to be able to get the good driver's discount to pay for my own insurance to drive, and then I had to get my own gas. So most of my friends knew when I was young, because I out of dope. I built this 71 Chevy Nova and had a Chevy, like a 350, like a V8. And when I put a 4-barrel carburetor on it, like the amount of money, like the amount of gas, right, was so low. So everybody knew, right? Like gas money, like you don't even step in the car unless you put that gas money into the bucket, bro. Like it's not happening. Hold on one second, I have to close this door. These fucking mosquitoes. Mosquitoes always fucking trying to eat me alive. So anyways, what the fuck was I saying before the mosquitoes? Not much has changed either. Ask my cat. He thinks you're not. Well, you shouldn't say that. I mean, cats are pretty, what do you call it? You guys, I can't see these private messages. I have to put them on show. Why? Why, you guys? Why? Why? Well, why? Okay, Tay, where are you at? Tay, where are you at? You got something better to say, I know. Not much has changed either. Ask your cat. He thinks you're done. You know, cats are very judgmental, like, and that's the thing, like, if you're a cat person, it shows your level of intelligence, especially emotional intelligence. Let me just be straight up with you. Because cats are so judgmental, right? Like, these are the judgiest little bitches you will ever have. And they're like, you don't just get my love. Like, this is the ultimate, and this is where this old school feminine energy is coming from, right? The Lyran are the cat-headed aliens, or whatever you want to call them. They're the first species that came to root race, okay? Humanity here, okay? So, basically, because of this cat-like nature, right? Cats are such curious creatures because you have to consistently prove that you care for them, that you acknowledge them, that you love them, and that you're aware of their needs. Otherwise, they're just like, fuck you. It's like I've developed such a good relationship with my cat that my cat's like a little puppy cat. So my cat's always here waiting when I open the door, like so excited. Like I tell her, like, I'll be gone 1 hour, 3 hours, 1 day, 3 days. And if I'm not back, like she'll be bitching me out. But it's like, if you have a cat, then what it shows is like, it's like you have to get their approval, literally, like sometimes multiple times a day, you know? Like, so if you can manage, if you have a cat, it already shows me that you're already doing more intellectual work, right? That you're already doing more emotional, that you have more emotional intelligence than most people. Why do most people have a dog? Because people need attention, because their ego needs to be fed, because a dog loves them regardless, because no matter what they do, that dog will show up and be like, I fucking love you. You hit me in the face, I love you. I love you. You didn't give me food, I love you. Can you give me food? You know, like that's why a dog is man's best friend, because a dog is here to feed ego, right? That's why you probably see more women with cats. Why? Because they need that acknowledgement, they need that attention, they need that care. They're also consistently cleaning themselves, pampering and grooming themselves. That's why women, when they're in more cozy, relaxed states where they can make themselves feel good, whether it's for anybody or not, it's part of our nature, right? It's part of our nature. So when you push people so far out of their own nature, it's like, what, something's not working here. Yeah, because we've tried to rewrite nature as we know it into something that we think it should be by programmed, you know, and that's what's happening is we've just been sucking the earth and the feminine, literally defiling it and sucking it dry and clean, not in a pleasurable way. You know, like if you were sucking the feminine, it would be like chasing waterfalls. It would be like trying to catch breath, bro.
Wouldn't be like sucking it dry. All right, they all love that juice. V8. He's an egg grumpy. He thinks he's the boss man. He helped me through court hearing. Yeah, okay. His name is V8? That's funny. Yeah, I mean, but that's what I'm saying is cats are very like, so if you are giving the acknowledgement and the attention to the cat, even if they're being whatever, like when you are sad or when you are depressed or when there's like evil entities or spirits, like they will immediately come up to you. They'll start purring. That frequency of the purr is actually very healing to your nervous system. It helps to calm your heart rate, your nervous system, all of that. The cat purring. So to have a cat near you and to be petting it or to have it come on you or to sit in it, you know, it's like, and they're doing that because they're very empathic and sensitive. They're seeing, so cats are seeing third density very last. So when they see a person, they're not actually seeing the physical person. It takes them a while. They're seeing your exterior entities, energies coming at them. So if you have a dirty aura, then the cat's always gonna fucking go and hide. If you have a good aura, the cat's gonna come out and like inspect you, like, ooh, what are you doing? Let me walk between your legs and rub the tail and blah blah blah. But the cats, so they see the physical human very last. It comes in, it's very last that it comes into the screening. And so yeah, that's a real thing. But yeah, you have to understand that if you can care for a cat and a cat can love you back, then you're much more emotionally intelligent than most people. Because a cat requires reciprocation. And this is this female energy. It's like, listen, I'll come around. I'll give you some love and some purrs. I'll cuddle with you. I'll let you pet me. I'll even be cute and cuddly and sweet. But like, you gotta know, like, you gotta feed me every morning and night like it. At least they like some type of schedule, you know? They need some type of regimen. You know, they like that place where you like to put their, like, I try to move my cat's food for some reason. Oh, my friend brought his little puppy over and I try to move her food somewhere else. She was fucking pissed, bro. Then where she was like already slightly annoyed by the little puppy because he was a little too hyphy for her and she's like super chill. Now she was like, this bitch be moving my food. Like, what? Well, I'll be coming over here. My food's not even here. He tried to drink my water. It's everywhere. This fool's a mess. You know, like, she's not having it. She couldn't have it. Like, but this is where you have to be like, okay, legitimately, I see. Okay, I feel where you're upset in this. And so at that point, like, she was so upset that I basically had to do something which I'd never done, which I didn't want to do, and I didn't make it last long. It was just like, it was just for the weekend, for the festival or whatever, when my friend was here with this little tiny, it was a tiny little puppy. And so I brought the food, I put like a little thing and I brought the food and I put it on the bed so she could eat up there, you know, with us. It would be like, hey, we're gonna eat, like, we'll all eat over here. We came from off the table to the bed to eat there with the cat because she's not allowed on the table for sure at all. And so, you know, but it's okay. Like, this little thing isn't replacing you. It's just little. That's what we kept trying to tell her, like, it's just a baby. And then when she realized that it wasn't trying to harass her anymore, that it was literally just a baby, that it didn't know any better, then she was being cool. Then she was like trying to show it she's trying to be like, no, this is what you do. She'd be like, don't do that. You know, like, then she was like monitoring it. Like, then it was like more of like, okay, I'll be like the auntie right now. He's helped you through your court hearing. Yeah, so here's the thing is cats actually think that they're our parents. They actually think that we're just some weird other breed of cat and they're caring for us because they're actually monitoring on all these higher etheric levels
They're blocking the monitoring spirits and other things like that. They are protecting us. So that's why they think they're like the boss. And you got to remember, like back in Egypt and stuff like that, like if people would fuck with cats, like that was murder. If you killed a cat, like you were dead. Like, why were they worshiping these cats? Because they were in the Lyran imagery. They were very special creatures. Because they could jump in these beings. Because it was easier for them to jump because the cats can see in all these different dimensions, but exist in this dimension. Does that make more sense? So it's very interesting. He was your guide. Yeah. So my cat helped me basically, like, that's why when people are like, oh, just leave the cat, like, what? I'm like, fuck you, fool. Like, this cat was the only thing. Like, if I didn't have this cat after the accident, like, I wouldn't have been able to feed myself. I wouldn't have got out of bed. Like, you know, I might have just been like, fuck it. Like, I'm too much work for anybody to even come and check on me. Like, what's the point? You know what I'm saying? People can't even call to check on me to see how I'm doing, like, when I'm here dying in bed. But the cat was like, hey, like, it's cool. Like, we're just going to cuddle right now. And then it's like, hey, you gotta move. Like, if I stayed in bed too long or if I would get too sad or whatever, like, she would start doing stuff. She would, you know, and so even now, if I start tea or something on the stove and I walk away from it, she'll come and she'll be like, whoa, meow, 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 meow. I'm like, what do you want? Like, I just gave you food. Like, stop asking for food. And she's like, listen, dumb bitch. And I'm like, oh, yeah, thank you. I was cooking something or I'm boiling some, whatever. Like, she's super on point. Like, you need to get up. You need to go to the bathroom. You need to take a shower. You need to eat. Like, if I don't eat a full meal, she'll sit there and keep asking for food, even if her food bowl is full. Because she's telling me, you need to eat. I'm gonna keep telling you to eat. I'm gonna keep saying food, but it's not my food, it's you need to eat food. So they're very intelligent creatures. Like all these other animals and things are actually very intelligent creatures. They're just existing at these higher frequencies. Think about it. Cats and dogs, like they're more loving, so they're on more fourth density, right? They don't have this. It's like unless you attack them or come at them, they're not normally, like, I don't know, I guess dogs can be kind of angry. Yeah, my cat's my guide for sure. He tells you things. Takes on the dog's eggs. Always wondered where the smell wasn't coming from in the mornings. Eggs sitting on my face. Learning frequencies with animals, like never eyeball a dog. Yeah, dogs look different, you know, like also like, have you tried like the pointing at your cat? Like that stresses them out a little bit. Like my cat knows when I point at her, I'm like, she knows that's like, what are you doing? I'm just like, it's like, I fucking see you, dude. Like she knows that, like just a gesture of my energy. And what's also interesting is when I was on another island, my friend was watching her, and my friend would call me and be like, "Are you cool, homegirl?" And then she'd be like, "What?" She'd be like, "Your cat's going ballistic." Like, so I'm just guessing because I know your guys' energy is super connected. Like, I just want to call and check on you and make sure if you're okay or not because I can't get her to calm down. So I thought maybe I should call you and see if I can help you to calm down. And I was like, "Oh, thanks. I really needed this call right now." And then she's like, by the end, like the cat's like up there, like snuggling with her, you know? So it's a very, they're sensitive, okay? They're higher sensitive beings or creatures. Like a dog is more like, you know, not like a big dumb animal, but a little bit different, right? So hold on, let me get another deck. Okay, for some of you guys, God, it doesn't matter what deck of cards. Okay. Okay, so this person coming in. Okay, masculine. Okay, masculine, whoever you are coming in. Hold on, can I turn you? Let's see.
I can't see anything in this screen, just so you know. That's why. Let me see if I can see. That's why I have to open it in the other phone and look and see what's going on here. I want to try to get you guys to get the cards. Get them? Can you get them? All those creepy people. I know I should probably. I don't know, like, that's why I think it's really weird that, like, the ex went and fucked Indonesian hookers without a condom, but, like, thought it was weird that I was like, I think I should sell some foot pics because my feet are super cute, my toes are all, like, cute, and he's just like, how could you try to sell your temple? And I'm just like, you know, like, that's why that shit caught me off guard. I didn't really expect that to happen, but, you know, I guess when your boss and his buddies are fucking paying for the fucking hooker. But anyways, look at I got cute feet, guys. Want to see my feet and my toes full? I'll do it just to fuck with you guys. Just to fuck with you guys. But I hella should. No, but I hella should. So, okay, this is always the same story. Same story, different day. Okay, so I just pulled all of these, so I'm just gonna turn it around and show you guys one by one. Let's see. What's going on here? Oh, okay. Okay, sorry guys. So this actually has so many different ways you can wear it. This is like phase 13. I like to wear it. I like to wear it sometimes like this, like Chrissy Crossy. It's almost like, this is like, I have maybe like five or six different, maybe more, 5 or 6 different shibari type ways that you can tie it. And this isn't just decorative, this is actually functional. And you guys, actually, because I'm wearing the cozy, I'll show my dudes. Super big. I'm wearing my dudes boxers, look at. So I make different ones. These ones just have the purple, but I make ones that are longer for sports and a little bit shorter. You can have the regular ones like this. Some of my other friends like to get the ones with the extra piece of fabric. I don't know if they're putting in like a cup or whatever for sports or if they're doing something else. I'm not exactly sure, but just sharing, guys. So come to the edge. This is a deck that they told me to pick up, and then as I was shuffling it, this one wanted to come out. So what is going on? Okay. So we're gonna start like this. They want you to come to the edge, okay? This one was already pulled out, the Ace of Coins. Okay, so this new thing that they want to offer or give, hold on, I gotta turn this fucking on. It's killing me. This light is like, no business light, show business light. But it's a different, it's like a softer type light than the normal lights. I don't really do good with the fluorescents or the LEDs. Like all of my lights are almost like these natural color lights. So first we have the Ace of Coins. So this offering, and again, for Divine Masculine, we have the stag here. Okay. Then we have the Six of Coins. So, wait, what happened? No. These are backwards or what? I swear I just picked them up in order, but that's not how it was. Okay, yeah, it came through like this. Okay, my bad. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? This is the wrong direction. Okay, yeah, hold on. Okay, yeah, sorry guys, hold on 1 second. I gotta flip them over, not this way. Okay. This way. Okay, yeah, Ace of Cups, my bad. because they just kept pulling them out, and then I didn't, and then I turned the phone because they were laid out here, and now I'm still picking them up to show you. That's hilarious, you guys. I literally can't make this up. My brain, my brain. Okay, new brain. So this person, it has this offering. They want to actually make this offering. This is real. This is a physical offering. They want to come in, okay? They've really worked on themselves. He's got like this really interesting, like super beefy, buff, like Superman. Look at this. He's like, yeah. For some, there's been a thing with hair. I don't know. For some, they could have been growing their hair out. For some, they may have lost hair, cut hair, be losing hair, and maybe some of them may have had hair implants or something like this. I don't know why that's. Again, I just channel messages. I'm just a messenger. God bless the messenger. Okay. So Ace of Cups, they want to come in to make this physical offering of love. They want to make this expression of love. And they want to figure out how to create this balance or this stability. They feel that they've really created, see this balance, like see how all these mermaids are holding this, and in there is like this ball that's balanced inside of it with this triangular, okay? This is, it's like they've, almost like they've alchemized their love, okay? Something like this. Joshua Jones, 3874, just joined. What are you talking about? Josh Jones. My best friend growing up used to have date a guy named Joshua Jones. This is the same Joshua Jones, the crazy motherfucker. Crazy freak scientist. They used to work at the morgue. We are talking about, this looks like a story about divine masculine entering. So I'm just going to read these before we get more deep because I see there's new people in here. Hi, what are we doing? We're doing tarot. Hey, Tio Maui. That's Uncle Maui. Hey, Maui. Meowie. That's what I named this first white cat that came here. And only a few people actually got it. And they were like, why'd you name it Meowie? And I was like, because it's a fucking island cat? I don't know. Like, I don't know. That's crazy. You've been growing your hair and beard. Yeah, okay, so November beard. Yeah, so there's something, yeah, that's what I'm saying is there's something very interesting about the hair, right? So some of them could have grown hair. Some of them could have braided hair. Also beard or mustache. It's like a lot of hair, like bushy, okay? They may want to come in as this like masculine energy, like this mountain man energy. For some of them, they may want a haircut. They may want you to tell them how you want them to cut their hair or to be styled. For some of you, they may want you to do it. They're like, sauce me up, make me sexy. How do you want me? That's what I'm hearing. How do you want me? Okay, let's keep moving. The Three of Cups, they want to come in and have this celebration with you, okay? They may have been, for some of you, okay, this is strong. They could have had also, they can have their friends that are potentially helping them to create this party. This is strong Mercurial and Cancer. So we're picking up on not just Taurian energy, but Mercurial energy is more like also Gemini energy. So some of the this could be part of what has been a secret, okay? For some, for some it can be like a masquerade or something. They want to have maybe like a ball, a masquerade, like, or they want to have a ball, like, you know, again, take what resonates, leave what doesn't. Yeah, this is somebody that really wants to come in, okay? The Emperor, this is strong. Now, the Ace of Coins is Earth sign energy, okay? But see how it's like, I'm not offering this to you. I have it, and I hold it, and I'm holding it for you, right? They're holding that physical space, that physical energy, maybe even that money, maybe even, for some of you guys, land. They could work, some of them could work with animals